Have you ever stopped and wondered why everything suddenly feels so loud? Big logos, big branding, big statements, everything feels louder. Sometimes I look around and think, when did everything start trying so hard? I don't know if it's just me getting older, probably is, or whether people are starting to feel a bit tired of it too. Because lately, it just feels like everything is trying to prove something. Cars, clothes, brands, social media, even people sometimes. And I found myself becoming more drawn to things that just feel comfortable in what they are. Things that don't feel like they're asking for attention. And honestly, that's part of the reason I started Russell Pitman. But let me explain. I think we live in a world now where attention has become currency, the normal. Everybody wants to be seen. Brands want attention. People want attention. Algorithms reward attention. And there's nothing wrong with that, but here's what I started noticing. The people I admired most usually weren't the loudest. The people with confidence, real confidence, often felt completely comfortable in who they are. You just felt it, you see it, and how they carried themselves, how they spoke, and how they moved, through the world. And strangely enough, I started noticing the same thing in the things that I liked. Simple design, thoughtful details, things that felt premium without needing approval. And maybe that says something about where I'm at in my life too. Funny thing is, I drive an Audi. It's debadged, apart from the rings on the front and the back. That's it. There's no giant badges down the side, no model badges, no big statement. No need to tell everyone, what it is. Just feels clean and simple. Bit like this black t-shirt, actually. And I realised I'm drawn to a lot of that in areas in my life. Not flashy, not trying too hard, just comfortable in what it is. And I started noticing it with caps too. I look around and think, why does everything have to have something huge slapped across the front? Why does everything feel like it's just trying to say, look at me? Maybe I'm old school, maybe it's personal preference, but I kept coming back to the same thought. What if there was a cap with nothing on the front? Not because it, was trying to be different, but because it didn't need to prove anything. Now, this isn't me saying logos are bad, far from it. I love great brands. I appreciate, good designs, and branding matters. This isn't anti-brand. It's more about identity. And I think there's something, really interesting about, identity and confidence. You can feel when someone knows who they are. They're not trying to impress, everybody. They're not performing. They're just comfortable. And maybe that's why the idea of nothing to prove resonated with me. Because the older I've gotten, the less interested I've become in proving things and more interested in being comfortable in who I am. Maybe there are more people who feel that way too, especially these days. Everything feels just busy. Everything feels stressful. Sometimes less feels more honest. Sometimes not trying so hard feels better. And somewhere in all of that, Russell Pitman started to take shape. The idea was pretty simple. Premium cap, nothing on the front, no need to announce itself, something you wear because it feels right, not because it's trying to make a statement, something for people who are comfortable in who they are, or maybe becoming more comfortable, figuring that out along the way. And honestly, we're still refining. We're still figuring things out. I mean, the caps aren't even here yet. And maybe that sounds strange, talking about all of this before everything is perfect. I mean, it's never going to be perfect. But I actually think there's something nice about building things openly, showing the process, the thinking behind it all, why it exists in the first place. Because for me, this was never about just a cap. It was about what the cap represented, and more importantly, the person wearing it. And maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe people want bigger logos, bigger branding, that's fine too. But I do wonder whether people are craving something different, something simple, something that just feels right. Maybe the strongest signal is not needing to say much at all. Anyway, I generally love to know what you think. Do you think everything's become a bit over-branded these days? Or am I just getting old? Yeah, probably getting old. Anyway, Bye for now.